are tWoTcast, episode 407.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. No. Okay.
All right, everyone, shut the up. Let's ready to record.
We like to start every show by yelling, "We are tWoTcast." Can you do that with me? On the count of 1, 2, 3, go.
We are tWoTcast. Now we can start.
The Wheel of Time, re-read podcast. Explicit in R, freaking rated. Jono's the wild card, always talking shit. Joe's the straight man, he's a total dick. Tom is still obsessed with X-Men.
Previously on X-Men.
We are
You're viewing, watching, listening, whatever. The Wheel of Time re-read podcast. tWoTcast, the Wheel of Time re-read podcast. Now covering the Wheel of Time. Wait, what? The Wheel of Time? That can't be right. Since when did we do that? I'm Jono. With me is Joe.
Oh, hey, Jono.
Oh, hey, Joe. And Tom.
So you're Matt Jono.
Okay.
We're now covering The Shadow Rising, Jono.
The Shadow Rising, indeed, which is, of course, the fourth book of the Wheel of Time, which we'll get to later. But first, we're going to discuss the first three books, right?
This is all. We got 5 minutes.
Yeah. We'll give a quick overview while Tom
Just get into it.
We did that. We've done it.
I mean, we
Have
did
we
do
done it
that.
more than
We've
once?
done it twice.
Oh, Jesus. glad we're doing it again. For some reason, people want to see that.
And the first time
Well,
we did it was 11 years ago.
It's been.
It's more than that.
Wow.
The funny
It's
thing
2011
is,
for this-
we don't
for
have
this
anything new to say because Joe's constantly pointing out how we said that the first time around.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Joe undermines his own content pretty fucking hard and fast.
No, it's in
Exactly
an
right.
effort to make us look real smart by pointing out how often we repeat ourselves.
It shows that we haven't changed or grown or are not open to new ideas in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
and
That's critical.
forgotten what we already said.
So, yes, there's a lot going on with it.
Oh,
Obviously,
pretty-
A,
You know,
drunks. B, drunks. Yeah, all right.
I don't think it's bad to forget what you said
Yeah.
12 years ago.
I mean, it was more than that.
I don't remember what I said. Stop saying that.
Well, it was 2011. It was 2011. So
Was it
13
really?
years ago.
yeah, at least.
We're on year 13. Now you finally got it down. It's year 13.
Well, this. I mean, I downloaded the episode.
Year 13. What a spooky year for October.
Ooh. Joe. I assumed that was a spooky.
Joe's got a good ghost name. So do you. I think.
Joe. It's Joe with 8 O's.
Any ghost name that ends with an O is good.
Starting the re-read of book 4.
I guess mine's okay.
Spring.
You just
New
stay
spring.
on the O before you get to the end.
So this is not restarting the reread. If you remember, we actually did books 1 through 3 on a reread.
Yeah.
And then that finished 2 years ago?
Well, so I mean, maybe a lot of newer people to our show might not know, but the first time we did a reread of the books, it was for the upcoming last book. So like, none of that knowledge was in our heads, like how it would all end. So so doing a reread isn't that weird because now we have the knowledge of the last book.
Super
But I
weird
think
to
the
think
question
about.
is, when did we finish the third book 3? We finished book 3, what?
The
8
rereads we
months?
did relatively recently, but it's been a little while. But
Well, the
we
idea
tried-
was to do it alongside the show.
yeah, and the show is slow in the goings, so
Yeah.
we're like, let's kind of
Yeah.
we'll wait to get to book 4, and then when they're getting close to season 3, we'll do book 4.
So we've
And-
tortured some content out of entire, 2 years.
I think it's some of the
great
best
show.
content. Some of the best content we've ever done. Maybe the best.
It's we know what you do. You should do a tier listing of it. Shit, we did that 7 episodes ago.
Whenever we're boxed in by actually having to cover something, I'm just like, oh, this is exhausting. And whenever we just fucking
lot of
talk
people in
about
chat.
whatever the fuck we want forever,
Oh, Dana, hey.
that's what you do.
Love that
I'll
if
give
you're
it a-
boxed in having to cover something.
I like it when we're
Austin's
free balling, just going.
You chose this 14 years ago.
Glenn's here.
Yeah.
Who's
lot of
been here
people-
from the Who's been here from the beginning?
I usually been here for a
Jono,
while.
Joe, and Tom.
Or close to, I guess, close to the beginning. I wonder if
Yeah.
anybody's first episode was episode 1 before episode 2 ever came out.
I hope not.
No,
That's an interesting. That's a hard.
actually, there's for sure at least somebody because we got like 9 downloads maybe before episode 2 came out. I mean, I can't remember. It was a long fucking time ago.
I was 8.
It was
I
more.
8 of
It
them.
was more than just the 3 of us. Let's put it that way.
This begs the question: which one of you guys didn't download it?
It was
That's
me.
fair.
I didn't have a
book,
phone
cool
at the time. Yeah, I didn't have a smartphone at the
Oh,
time. I didn't
hiking
know.
won't chat much. Strength said.
Oh, that's it. Well, enjoy your hike.
This is intriguing. Cool book.
Pretty
So,
amazing. that
like,
we've
he
come
doesn't
up
like
so
it that much, but he's still watching.
We do
while he's
come up with a lot
hiking.
of content, but we also take lots of weeks off.
Sometimes years.
Yes.
Never a year.
Never a full.
Oh,
year.
regarding
For a
time-
while. There was one year there where we did like 12 episodes, like once a month, maybe.
Also, for a minute, we're like, I guess we have to transition to new shit now. And we did that for a while.
Yeah.
And then we got to realize, like, we don't want to do this.
Wyman Wilds said I've had 3 or 4 names since I said, yeah, Wyman Wilds has been here forever.
We may have had 3 or 4 names too.
I mean, it's
I think
possible.
that's just not him. It's just whoever keeps knocking him out and stealing his kidney. The kidney has been watching him from the beginning.
Taking it.
Yeah.
Just taking it.
The kidney though is one of those organs that apparently has like a almost a memory with it, and that's why he keeps reading the Wheel of Time. So that's an interesting thing. I guess just keep that kidney alive. It's very interesting. Joe, how you coming along?
Finding a new host body.
I'm good.
Oh, hey, you good? Like, are you real good or are you just good?
No, I'm good.
John,
Alright.
how many Scream movies have you watched so far this month?
We are not doing Scream right now. That was last year's 6 in a row. Right now, we've watched all the Ghostbusters. Oh, timely shirt. Did not mean that.
Yeah.
Watched what's it called? The most recent one, Frozen Empire last night.
I only got halfway
first time
through that
seeing
and
that.
fell asleep, so I need to finish it. I liked it.
I liked it. I wanted more from kind of how shit worked, like from the lore, if you will. Like all of a sudden we're just throwing copper onto everything. That's a 1994 album.
I
And
like those
it's
though. They're pretty good.
So dumb.
deep cut shitty joke.
Is that a reference to a live album? I wasn't even listening to you and I got it.
But I said a few things kind of like, and then what happened? Here we go. I would have liked more shit. Oh, I would like that too, brother Dan.
Isn't this the entire premise of Scream people smiling creepy? What?
What?
I usually, what are you
Movie-
talking about?
What's the premise of the movie called Smile?
And
Yeah,
Smile too.
I was gonna say. Is it Smile?
Yes.
Wait,
yes,
what's
it's-
that movie called? Is it Us? Where she's also smiling on the cover?
Yeah, I guess, but that's not really like the thing that happens in the movie.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
People
Alex
don't
said
smile.
Smile too, and Smile
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
I didn't,
Well, this
I
is
didn't
our.
think Smile was very scary. Do you think it was very scary?
never
I
saw
haven't
it
seen it.
because I don't
I was-
care.
I was too scared to watch it.
Actually,
that
I
makes
don't
sense.
really watch it. Lauren doesn't like scary movies, so
Oh, yeah, that's right.
tend
Well,
not to
she
watch.
goes to sleep, and then you just watch whatever.
I mean, I usually, but I don't. It takes me forever to get around to it. I usually have a million other
Halloween.
things I'm watching. I want to watch. But,
It's
How
All
often do you
Hallows
ask her?
month.
it's all Hallows month.
I'll be honest, there's something about like this old like 80s, especially like serial like slasher films that I'm like, well, this
Mhm.
feels like Halloween. Even the movie quote unquote called Halloween.
Yeah,
Perfectly
I know
like,
that one.
like that's the right one. Even
know.
though so much of it is terrible.
Did you
But
see
still fun.
Barbarian?
Yeah, I did see that. I've seen that was fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, it was really fucking good.
The Conan one?
I've seen
Yeah.
I've seen
Have you
a
seen
bunch of
Barbarian,
newer
Jono?
stuff, but like not like I don't know.
You should
Also, I
watch it.
wasn't really into them when I was a kid. Aside from like
Neither was
Scream,
I.
that was like high school.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
you went to
old
high
when
school.
Scream came out.
Yeah, like I never cared about the Freddy movies or the
No, I
Halloween
care more
movies
now
or-
than I did at the
You know,
time.
Scream came out 27 years ago.
I did not know that.
It's old.
I was not aware of that.
there's a girl that works for me that's 22, and I remember like last October I came in, I was like, oh, she's like, do you watch scary movies yet this month? And I was like, yeah, we started watching the Scream movies.
Teeth. I know of Teeth.
She's like, oh, that old movie, that old movie with the mask. And I was like, that old movie.
It is old. 27
She's the one.
years.
She is the one that refers to like the 80s and the 90s as the late 1900s.
Oh, fucking bitch.
He said he's been enjoying some Mike Flanagan.
That's what it is.
Yeah, those Mike Flanagan shows are pretty good. Like Blythe Manor and that type of shit. The Hauntings of. They're good.
That's what I could use in the chat is some horror movie recommendations, some new ones.
I thought you
Yeah. Also, The Evil Dead, of course, is incredible.
Yeah, give us your Halloween movie recommendations.
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas doesn't count. Everyone knows it's a Christmas movie.
Like newer stuff that we might not know about.
Because apparently
I heard about Barbarian and like X. I heard about those late, like once they get like popular.
Isn't there like a trilogy for the X movie?
Yeah, I haven't seen.
He made like 3 random movies that are all kind of interconnected, didn't he?
We just watched this movie called Hell House, and that was great. And then it's like, oh, there's 2 more, and man, are they bad! Like just horrendous.
What were they called? Like Hell Shack?
I think it was just Hell House 2.
No.
Or something. I don't know. I don't pay that much
Glenn said about a year or so ago he started watching this channel.
What an interesting intro.
Maybe this year. I think we were early in the alphabet discussing the companion.
That's what got you. The dictionary.
Yeah, the dictionary.
And he's like, I'm never going back. I'm coming every week.
Winter's Dragon.
That is a horror
That's a good Halloween movie.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do this on the air. I was going to save it for, planning chat or whatever, but I figured next year we can do a farmer's almanac of the Wheel of Time. What do you guys say?
Please walk me through this because I'm all in, right?
It would just be a lot about the weather and the crops during the books and how things would grow. And
I'll be right back. My wife made me an old fashioned. Keep talking.
Oh, you have a wife too.
That was really the end of that joke. Do I have to make it longer? It already wasn't good.
No, I'm all in. You know this. The amount of times that we discuss, I have mentioned, well, I don't understand how this economy works here, and how it is that there is still shit going on after the Great Drought. I'm in for the farmer's almanac talk.
Yeah, like what regions of Randland would actually be able to grow crops and be profitable and help feed people in book 3 or 4, since we're talking about it.
We're 4, yeah. So right now, pretty much all of them. And that's... I'm down for this conversation. How much time do you need and how many sections you thinking?
I don't know.
Well, that's why we have planning.
One for every book.
Okay.
Imagine the farmer's almanac for book 14.
Make charts. Make charts.
All right. Welcome back with your old fashioned. So this is our episode covering the first part of the Shadow Rising re-read.
Just chapter 1.
Yeah. And hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
The cover.
When you say when you say the cover in chapter 1, prologue, you mean?
There's no prologue.
Oh.
It is called chapter 1 of this book.
Tom, didn't you do your re-read?
No, I actually decided to start rereading the Wheel of Time and just try to catch up. We'll see if I make
Tom's on his new podcast, The Tom of Time. Wheel of Time.
I have a pretty decent memory of the book, except for the fact that I don't remember there's not a prologue. Really?
It's the same. So he went back and forth on having a prologue several times.
We need like a this day in tWoTcast history thing that pops up because I'll be like,
is this the exact same thing that happened in the last goddamn podcast?
we joked about chapter 1 being like basically the prologue because it's like a bunch of different POVs and it's really long, and then it gets into chapter 2, which is like the wind's still there.
That seems like an edit. So that's an editorial problem, really.
Yeah, I think it's an editorial problem.
Maybe it's a version.
Should have been prologue in chapter 1.
Can we write a letter?
What's your version history here?
But really, we're just covering the prologue / which is in reality chapter 1.
Well, do we want to do some cover art talk or kind of like an overarching
prologueless? Let's discuss the wind. We do it, Wadaholic.
See, this is the Farmer's Almanac podcast. Where
we don't discuss the wind. Don't let that content out in the world for free yet. You know when I was feeding
Patreon
the
only.
just based on that comment, I was feeding the baby tonight, and then he burped, and then he sat for a second, and then he blew it in my face, and then he kept eating. It was incredible.
It's because he doesn't love you.
How old
No.
Sawyer? 16 months now?
Yeah, at the end of the month.
All right.
What?
Fuck yeah. Well, congrats to him. I'm excited for when he can start driving you around after the podcast.
Another boy coming, Jono, February.
Oh, it is a boy?
Yeah. Oh, you would
Shithole house.
actually appreciate this because
I don't like children.
our ultrasound tech is like from Russia or something, and she always wears like Doc Martens, like black dresses. But she's like, "Do you have sex with the baby?" And we're like, "Not yet." She's like, "Do you want to know?" We're like, "Sure." And then she like pulled up the ultrasound and just wrote, "It's a boy." And she's like, "That's his penis." And I was like, "All right." And then she's like, "I'll send you all the pictures later." And I was like, I wonder if she's gonna send us that one. I was like, of course she is. She wrote "It's a boy" on it. And then Lindsay got the pictures in a text, and she did. She's like, "I can't believe the doctor sent us a dick pic." But they did.
I think it's
Dick
super
pic.
normal. Super normal for a doctor to do that.
Send a dick pic.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's weird because I don't
my
even have
doctor
a
all the
kid.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it was fucking hilarious.
I like that very much. That's one of the few stories about ultrasounds I'll be okay to listen to.
That's the first time
That's
anybody
not
ever
good
sent me a
stuff.
dick pic.
That's not true.
Have
Have
you guys been enjoying my Whattober drawings?
Oh yeah. So
Yeah,
Joe's
they're
been
okay.
doing. Also, do you know how to spell Whattober? Because there are two different spellings going on.
I mean, I'm going off of the sheet that has the
What are they?
Well, there's one with Watt,
one with
and
Watt
one just
and Tober, and then one with Whattober.
yeah.
With just two.
Are you talking about the
T's?
hashtags?
No.
John?
Well, I mean, yes, by definition, the hashtag is going to have one or two T's.
Why do you make it
Well, this
Walktober?
is the prompt.
That'd
So
be hilarious.
it's definitely got two T's. I've definitely
That's no. That's WOJ.
Why would it?
Woj,
Oh,
it's Wojtober.
WOJ.
It's WOJ. It's World of Jordan Tober.
I think it's Wojtober, and you should have just done basketball drawings for all of them.
Wow, way to go.
Dan said
Except
check your
ESPN.
messages, Tom. No, he probably sent you a dick
okay.
pic.
Yeah.
Jesus
It
Christ.
definitely has two T's. Thanks, Dana.
I looked at my
Yeah.
phone.
I've been spelling it wrong the whole time.
Joe, just think of how many people you haven't reached.
Retweet.
It's clearly reached a lot of people, so I'm fine with
Yeah.
it.
Sort of social
I mean,
media
and
maven.
the official Whattober Twitter handle has been retweeting my stuff. So
Why haven't
clearly
they
it's reaching
replied
the
to
right
you and been
people.
like, "Hey, do this right"?
Why
idiot.
didn't they? They should have been like, "Hey, cool drawing. Way to use the wrong hashtag."
Again,
15
Watchtober,
days. 15 days.
Well, I'm only
Yes.
on
day
13.
12. Yeah, Joe's a little behind.
You're never.
Well,
gonna
I have two drawings to do before midnight tonight. I'm fine. I've got one of them 90% done.
You're never gonna make it.
Yeah.
I had to catch up over the weekend. I was busy, so I just didn't do anything on Saturday, Sunday. So
Oh, I'm
yesterday
busy.
I did two, and today I did two, or I'm going to. So
It's not
you
really
know,
in the
I'll-
spirit of
I'll
the challenge,
catch up.
though. You know, it's
Yeah.
not really in the spirit.
It's
Let me see the
about
prompts.
catching
Let me
up.
see the prompts. Again.
The prompts.
What are you having a hard
Beach-
time with?
Well, I haven't had any. Well, I did have a hard time with one of them, but you guys helped me out already.
You should
The
go out
one
of
coming
your
up I'm
way.
having the trouble with is poem. That's a random one. Like I don't know what the fuck to do with that.
Interesting.
You should pick the
Nothing
Wheel
comes to
Time
mind. I
that,
guess.
that you think Robin Williams would play.
Dead Poet Society? I don't understand the connection. Shaw is really ambiguous, and I want to draw Baron, so I'm just going to do that.
Robin Williams is Matt.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Just randomly draw Matt for poem? I was
Robin
actually
Williams-
thinking about that because I
no.
was going to do the Jacko, the Shadows.
Robin
Just
Williams
sort-
as
I mean,
Matt
it's a song, but it's
is a
the
guest
closest
on
thing to a
Letterman.
poem.
Yeah.
You know?
So when I heard poem, my first thought, and I hate myself for this, is Fail, because technically her ideal man would be someone who could ride into the borderland or ride into the blight reciting poetry. Was kind of the not her ideal man necessarily, but I think that was like a wet dream of all
Yeah,
Not
men
bad.
enjoys
Ladies.
poetry.
Yeah, well, that's true
See what
too.
the comments are saying.
Uh,
Oh, wait, you guys should definitely. What?
This is your chance.
By the
to
way,
get a
you
lot of
guys
help.
should definitely share those Watober pictures elsewhere too. I mean,
Watchtober.
I'm sharing them
Where
in
else?
Discord on
Watchtober.
Tree's Discord. I don't know if you guys know Tree art. She
Where
does,
else would you do?
she does
do you
Watchtionary
mean-
with me on the Way of the Leaf. She has her own
Does he mean-
Discord. There's a lot of art in there. And I've
Does he
been putting
mean
them on our
Blue Sky?
Discord, but no one's ever there.
You're doing it on
Ourselves-
Twitter.
Yeah.
Should we do it on Blue Sky? Should we abandon
Joe will
Twitter?
probably do it on Leafcast tonight. I plan to finish them on Leafcast tonight, Glenn. Robin Williams is Noel.
Oh, gnarled knuckles.
That's not bad.
He doesn't die.
I mean, so just draw Robin Williams.
You should do Robin Williams as Over.
There's a couple right in that middle. Sanctuary is a weird one. What should I do for
Both.
Sanctuary? Like an Ilgir Grove? Maybe?
Elgir Grove. You could
The
do with the statue from book 1, like where it used to be, or nothing at all.
Yeah. Like a Grove or a Steading. Maybe a.
Yeah.
I just drew Loyal.
Well, don't draw long.
Not that I have to draw Loyal. I'm just saying, like that kind of thing. All right. Game, I'm gonna do Tom for the game of the houses.
Are
Void, I
you-
think I'm gonna do Tam.
Spoiler for Watchtober, by the way.
Well, I'm just throwing ideas out there. Doll's one I don't know 100%. Didn't they call Leandrin Doll in the books, like doll faced or something? Like
she's
what's
kind of
the-
doll faced. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
should do Aerith for Sanctuary and try to make the sexiest woman humanly alive possible, except with like the worst eyebrows and all things.
All the way down here.
Like Katharine Hepburn, but with eyebrows that look like
Catherine.
Woody Harrelson's hair from The Kingpin.
Give her 2 hands though. This is late. This is
Oh man. Fires are weird. My first instinct when fire is a prompt is to draw Rand with the fire sword, but I've already drawn Rand like twice. So it's
Balefire.
like, maybe I'll draw something else.
Balefire.
Balefire is obvious, but who?
Technically, all you have to do is nothing and just say that the drawing was Balefire.
That's my day off. That's my cheat day.
Did the Green Man burst into flame, or just did he smoke and fall down?
A little bit of more. I think the more the latter, right?
That would be fun.
Can't remember.
But who did burn?
The Eye of the
There's
World
gotta be-
ending is always a blur to me. I know we've talked about that 1,000 times, but every time I read it, I'm like, what just happened? I don't know what happens.
That was-
My brain just
Jordan
blocks
put
it out.
Yeah, Jordan did that on purpose.
Ambition's another one that I'm like, what? I don't know. Leandrin? Again,
show Elida.
Leandrin?
Elida or something like
that's
that.
good.
Yeah,
I was thinking Suroth maybe too.
that works too. Which brings us into our next book. This one. Like,
too. Palace, I was just going to draw the White Tower probably. I don't know.
that's not a palace.
I
tower.
know. That's why I'm like, yeah, but they haven't really shown any palaces in the show. I like to draw from the screen. If you
Does
haven't
this have
noticed.
to be from like? Cause
No, I
otherwise,
just that's
Okay.
my own like way my brain's working.
you don't have a brain anymore. So
Yeah,
I would be very interested in your
Firebush.
version of some of the palaces just in Firebush. That's a great point.
Algerian Ambition. That's a good one. I like that.
Also in the Sea book chapter 1.
All right, we'll get there, Jono.
Yeah, no, I'm just excited by the fact that all this obviously feeds right into our plan to only read one chapter.
Leandrin has rosebud lips. Didn't they say like white porcelain, like
Somebody did definitely.
doll-faced rosebud lip? I swear it's her, but I could.
Sounds
be
like a
wrong.
bad 1920s thing going on. All right, Dollface.
All right,
You're doing-
Dollface. What do you think about
You're doing-
that?
Why don't you do Matt dressed up in ribbons and shit with Tillen?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel so.
Oh yeah. Tuan calls him doll, right?
Toy.
Oh,
Toy.
toy. That's right. Mm.
Yeah. Which is her name for her vibrator as well.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. It's up to you.
And then there's one which is my immediate thought is cat swine, and I'm like cat swine.
100%. Or
You just-
wait for it. No.
Wait, what is it?
Is it possibly that the greatest rapist of all time may have pushed a woman into a?
Just dumping bodies.
No,
just
just
really, like mid legs
Just
sticking
do
up
it from
in
the
air and, like,
perspective of the
towards the
person
sky.
falling down the well. So it's like black with this, and then a white circle, and he's just looking down from the top. That's a great perspective. It'll look good, really good. Maybe a baby with an umbilical cord flying up toward the.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. He's
Alright.
just.
What about this?
That's
what
a
about
good
fan?
idea.
What about fan? What the fuck? What am I doing?
The
there?
language of fans is from Sardinia,
fail.
so it's fail.
All right, that's a fail one too.
Yeah. Or you could just draw people listening, like watching our show.
You just do.
Curiosity is a weird one too. I'm like,
You can do a Sendra like just super sweaty in the waist.
yeah, I
Not a Syndra. You're Kale. What's her Lanfear's just sweating as much as she can.
You draw Lanfear underneath and like a translucent keel on top that looks like Slimer just fanning herself.
Oh,
Yes.
do Misewells.
Oh, that's not as bad. I mean,
That's
that's
a
not
good
bad, but
idea.
there's
Seems
only-
like a Jackson Pollock painting that's just
Awesome.
blood and body parts.
It's also a lot of stuff going on there.
yeah,
But
not
yeah.
really. It's just the same thing 1,000 times.
All right.
I'll just do just the
I'll
well.
be right back.
Okay,
Good night, Kevin.
just the well. Oh, why don't Alex said ambition is a Lane portrait, please? I have her pegged
Whoa.
for tonight. Actually, it's Noble. I was gonna do Elaine.
Of all the things you chose her for Noble, I think
Well,
that's
she's a
very
Noble.
nice. Yeah.
Silly. Oh, Tom's force restarting, so he's frozen. Okay.
Well, I hope he warms up. Yeah, I did not know Wattober was a thing until all of a sudden, because I'm the guy who's.
I mean, I've been meaning to do it for like 5 years now.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
even before there was Watttober, there was Inktober, and I was like, I should use that to get off my ass and draw more, and I never do it. And even back then, I was like, I'll just draw Wheel of Time stuff or something, like. Now there's official Wheel of Time prompts from a couple people, other artists on Twitter time, I think.
Well, good
Anyway.
for you
Anyway.
getting off your ass.
Mm-hmm.
How's your old fashioned?
Very good.
And
Yeah.
is it old or new?
It's brand new. It's just an old fashioned drink.
Fantastic.
Come on, Jono.
Great news. Well, shall we? Now that Tom's gone. so we
Now
have
that
fewer
Tom's
things to,
gone and we don't have to talk about it anymore, let's
Yeah,
get
what is-
into
let me check out my
the Shadow
scripture
Rising Part
skills.
1, the re-reread. So we're just doing Chapter 1, which is basically the prologue, and also, I guess, spoilers?
Yeah, so definitely
course.
spoilers because
Yeah.
probably for show, for books plural. Because I'm gonna ruin everything.
Well, we're a spoiler-full show, not free show, so, we talk about all the things.
Same amount of letters, opposite intention.
Yeah. And the entire purposes of us doing this a second time, although we're trying to keep track with like the show itself, is that we have the knowledge of the last book, so of course we're going to use it when we're thinking about what's going
You
on in
thought
the
so?
chapters.
So much knowledge up here. We got drunk and forgot it all.
Yeah, no, we haven't forgotten anything.
100%.
Yeah.
So, covers.
Book 4. Oh, covers. You want to talk about covers?
Let's talk about covers.
All right. Well, there's the original cover, so we can just talk about that for a second.
Can you zoom in on shit?
No.
Fantastic. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I can. So this cover is iconic in its own weird fucking way, both in a very
Mhm.
positive and negative way. It's beautiful painting, I think.
I mean, all of his
100%.
paintings are beautiful.
He's 100%. So it's supposed to be Rand, Matt, Nagüen, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Plus a guy holding a horse, another guy holding a horse,
2 random eels holding horses.
a few IU in the background, and guest starring 2 Trollocs. And that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
There's a Trolloc obviously on the pedestal, kind of like just top
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
You can see that, not top right, but up and right from the wagon. But there's also another
You
one.
can see his little tiny silhouette up there.
There's another one from the left horse in the middle, if you look at its ear, just just above, there's another Trolloc peeking out.
Yeah, he's in the crevasse. He's my favorite Trolloc, I think.
I don't understand what the fuck the plan was there. Like, is this it? They're just they're literally waving. They're literally waving from a fucking thing. It's an amazing cover.
We just talked about this when we did the books too.
We did talk about this. That's why we're gonna move on from this cover. But I hate this cover. I think it's stupid. It's well painted.
It's well painted.
It's ridiculous.
All right, next.
I don't know. The proportions are bad. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. Like whichever one is Rand or Matt could be 5'6".
Jono, over 13 years ago, you said something along the lines of, and they're all wearing jeans and khakis. Jump,
is that wrong?
And jump a little bit for the woman serving them food, which I thought was awesome. Anyway, yeah, perfect.
All right, next.
All right, ebook cover. I love to death. It's not my favorite drawing of Matt, but it's a really good painting.
It's a cool painting. It's obviously from the end of the book.
Yeah.
It is cool. It is cooler.
I mean, the ebook covers tended to hone in on like one specific character for the most part.
I wish this person had painted the first cover, maybe.
There's someone, one of the ebook covers of the first, the first book and the Dragon Reborn. The first one's Rand like on the spray, kind of up in the crow's nest, kind of like leaning out, and it looks pretty good. It's pretty good. And then the Dragon Reborn one script, it's just him sitting with the banner like all, rolled out on his lap, kind of in like a, I don't know, the Shire type stone behind him, like kind of looks like a round door, but it's just a wall. But anyway, it's really cool. I like it. But the ones that focus on one character, I think, are mostly the best of the ebook covers. And later, I think these were printed covers as well. I think they used these on the.
Yeah, I think they used them. It's interesting, kind of, because obviously the original covers were, wait for it, the original covers, and then the ebook covers became a little more kind of like mainstream, became the real covers, and then of course now you have the issue with the book stuff, or not the book, the show stuff becoming covers for the series.
Yeah,
I
mean,
I
still like the original covers, and if you don't,
I love
look
the
at
original
it too
covers.
close, and you're just like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
they're objectively terrible, but amazing.
Yeah,
and I'm not looking at it with an eye toward like marketing. Like, is anyone gonna pick this up off the shelf? Like,
jeans are rather old-fashioned, actually.
They're just wearing brown pants and blue pants. I don't know what you want them to do.
Be better, Tom.
Dresses.
Be better. This one's cool though. I mean, it's a Civil War-ish type coat, but it still I mean, I don't know. It looks fancy enough. Like, I like it. I think it looks good. Plus, Matt's kind of military at that point, ish. This one's from China.
Oh wow!
You think about that guy?
What is this?
This is Perrin outside the
the
Tower of
Rivers,
Genji. Is that supposed to be the Tower of Genji in the back?
I don't know. I don't know what that is in the back. Giant tree.
But he's never.
No, there's a window.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's wild. No, that's definitely the Tower of Genji that he sees when he's fighting.
It's fascinating because the Tower of Genji has.
It's not supposed to be a window.
The Tower of
Genji
has
windows when you go through the doorway, or when you go into the tower. There's windows.
True. Maybe he already read the book. Maybe he's from the tower and already has seen that part.
Yeah, maybe he's on the outside.
The artist knew what was
in
going
and
on.
Went back out.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, there's that. All right, these are the German covers. There's one. So the Germans split it into 3 parts, apparently. And there's 2 covers for each part. So there's one's like an older printing and one's like a second printing. So I'm going to show you 2 covers at the same time, but they're both from the first part of the German book. Does that make sense? And Schattensat, as we call it.
Schattensat is a great title for the second cover.
Shatensat is called Seed of It's Seed of Shadow.
Okay.
It's actually Schattensat, but Schattensat's way funnier. I mean, the one on the right, which I assume is older because it looks older, but maybe I'm wrong. But like,
Yeah, it definitely has that.
I mean, clearly the Bubble of Evil moment. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think
You know,
it's
like,
kind of cool.
I don't know. The
It's-
one on the left is like it looks like Conan on a fucking horseback.
exactly.
Yeah,
I fucking get what's going on there at all.
If I'm in German, I'm suing for false advertising for that cover.
There's no Conan in this.
I was just commenting on the Chinese cover.
Why is he so fresh faced?
I don't know. He's very adorable. By book
China.
4, he's definitely doing the beard already. Like I don't
Oh.
know. Like it's a very odd cover. Oh, sorry.
It's weird that once I see that cover, I'm just like, they don't really do shields in these books.
What shit?
Yeah.
Sadie covers.
Yeah, I mean, the shield thing is definitely the people who are most connected to a shield are the Aiel who use bucklers, which is not really the same. It's the same idea, obviously.
Is
but-
that picture William Wallace leading a charge across the ocean?
That is
Mel
it's like
Gibson, right?
no. This is Moses Wallace, his cousin.
It's
He's
gotta
about
be
to leave.
no. I think that's sand. I don't think that's the water. I don't think that's water. I think that's
It's
the
definitely
What?
on sand.
All right, whatever.
I think that's supposed to be like Aiel in the foreground, maybe like beneath him, and then maybe that's Rand.
No, but that's still William Wallace from like a screenshot that guy painted, right?
Oh, I assume we
yeah,
were
probably.
on like the coast. Like there's sand that he's on, and there's water in the background.
No, I think that's just sand.
I think that's water. I think you're. The sun's reflecting off of it. It's way too strong.
Oh yeah, way in the back. Oh, I didn't even look up that high. Yeah, it's bad.
Look up, man. What are you talking about? Shit ass.
Maybe that's the glow of the sword. I don't know.
Sure.
On the water, sure.
The light reflects off of sand too.
Joe, if you think
Does.
that's sand, I'm really concerned now.
It's not called sand and shad.
Moses Wallace.
Thank you, Wallace.
That looks a lot like Karen in the show. I mean, it kind of does.
It does. Maybe they knew what they were doing. They were there long before.
I mean, it's not.
It also
bad.
looks a
It's not
little bit
bad.
like Robert Downey from Tropic Thunder.
I honestly think they even accidentally painted the blue face.
What do
paint
you
on
mean?
that.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you do?
I would
It
watch
looks
the
like
shit
the
out
second brother from the Prince of Persia. I don't remember that movie.
of that. It's
Well, and
also
if you're
good.
talking about the game,
Never
I
played it.
definitely don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Or there's a Shattenset. Here's a Die Heimkehr,
I like
which
that.
is the homecoming.
I like that a lot. I like this gun.
I mean, the old one's
Um,
cool. Look how cool the trees look. I mean, like if Two Rivers looked like that in the show, it'd be awesome.
Apparently,
want
it's
to
like
see-
he
I
was
need more
about to bash
fantastical trees.
his brains in and then got caught and just stopped mid swing.
Does he? He just looks like he's holding it. I got a hammer. I got a hammer right here.
He's like, I'm gonna kill that. He's
That's-
like, oh man, he's got a big spear. It's the ideal weapon to take me off this horse.
Well, there's also something dead in front of him, which I assume is a Trolloc because it's got a horn,
Oh,
and not just
great
a cow.
point. Yeah.
not just a
Yeah.
cow.
This is,
What did they kill that with? They're both holding weapons, but they killed it with another weapon. Also, it's
There could have
called
been a
Heine-
third
it's
person.
Heine.
yeah, their Heimkehr.
That's funny. No, up top left.
Oh, yes, Heine. Yes. You got some real maturity issues, man.
What does this
Yeah.
translate to? The
The homecoming. He said it.
The homecoming. Yeah.
no, I
Das
was writing.
Rat der Zeit is the wheel time.
I was writing the Bart the. I was like,
You're a fucking fart chair, Jono. God damn it.
I was like, why do I know what die means in German? I'm like, just The Simpsons.
Varlin.
The Bart, the. God damn it. Oh, okay. All right. Part 3 of the German books.
Well, that's
Uh,
terrible.
Der Sturmbeschluss.
What is-
It means the storm comes, which we all know the storm comes.
Where is
eventually.
that? What
That's
is that
true.
building supposed to be?
I'm assuming
stone?
the Stone of Tyr. What else could that be?
That doesn't
Maybe
look very
that's,
hard to break
Big
into.
slanted sides and shit. Like that makes
If
sense.
you take away the greenery, it could be like Rodian, but it's
That
not.
Trolloc looks like an angry gummy bear.
He does. He's very green. Got a lot of greenness going on there.
It's not good.
At least it looks like a Trolloc, though. and it's not just like it's a wolf and a ram, like it's multiple animals combined, which is
At least,
I
at
guess
least we know,
rare.
at least we know
Rare
Robert
for the
Jordan in
normal
German
covers.
is Robert Jordan. We got that going.
My translation's getting better.
All right, some of these covers are much worse. I feel lucky.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
mean,
fascinating.
they're not
I
bad.
wonder
I
what-
like when they split it into parts. Like I'm about to show you the Japanese ones. It's in 8 parts. They have like all the opportunity in the world to like paint all the different characters. I'm like, oh, that's so... the guy. I mean, to his credit, I mean, he had to paint one painting to convey an entire book. Like that's
Every
So
time
we
we see
chose
more and
Sarah
more of
Casey.
these, I appreciate Larry Elmore more and more every time.
Well, this is
I know
Larry
Larry
Elmore.
Elmore. Yeah,
Oh, just in general, as we get just in general, yeah, that makes
So
sense.
simple. And it's just like he's like, look, it's this, and we're like, oh, that's perfect. You did it.
Also, great interview.
yeah. Larry Elmore was fascinating to talk to. Loved that.
What if he is just like, I can't believe everyone keeps fucking this up so much.
We tried, Jono. We had tried to have him back on. Remember, and we got like not like run around by his assistant, but like I feel like he was just like. Let's put it this way: if the messages had ever gotten to Larry, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know those guys; they were fun," and he'd probably be on the show. But like, I feel like the messages never quite got to Larry Elmore.
Did he
In
do
fairness-
the covers for the new books?
Larry Elmore?
Yeah.
Oh, the new Dragonlance books?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I could be
We
wrong.
can look into. We should look into that. We should have a round
I've got
table
the
with
first one. Like,
Margaret
you remember
Weis
the
and,
one Margaret
Larry.
Wise when she was on? She was talking about like the very first one that she couldn't talk about because it hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
bought
was
that
fun.
one. I just haven't read it yet.
Should we have
And
Margaret
that's-
Weiss back on?
We should
we
do
should.
that. Yeah.
I completely forgot I have her phone number. That'd be so.
The question is,
We had her twice, right?
Yeah.
yeah, we
at
had
least.
Margaret Wise. I think 3 times, maybe twice. I don't know.
Yeah. What a stupid thing for her to do.
I think-
It's like, oh, I'm
I
gonna go
think
hit this.
I
this, and
think
Twatcast.
we loosely scheduled a third, and then she
Oh,
was
that's what it
worried
was.
about not being able to talk about anything, so we kind of pushed it back, and then we didn't follow up.
That's
Yeah, I
correct.
guess.
that sounds,
Yeah,
that
because it
sounds a
was
lot
like the book was
us.
about to come out.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to follow up until we actually read that book.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Wouldn't that be
another reason.
weird?
It's like, why
What do
why
you-
follow up and be like, hey, let's talk about your new book? And then be like, we haven't read it yet.
So tell us about it. I mean, like literally.
We haven't
Tell
read
us.
Hey, remember that part where
Wait a
Tasselhoff, though, in the original ones? Yeah, great. Thanks for all you do.
Oh, that's
Right,
a
next
pretty awesome
book.
guest to have. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Not that I don't love Elmore's more. Oh wait, Keith Parkinson was always better at D&D art than Elmore. I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, there's really good D&D art out there. Elmore's he's a little more on the cartoonier
Yeah,
side.
it's not hard to get good fantasy artists.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Here
Say
we are.
that to a few fantasy artists.
All right, so I'll show you. Should I show you all the Japanese covers at once, and then I'll show you 2 at a time because I have them on like 2 on a screen, or do you want to just
Yes.
wait all at once?
You decide.
All
Just
at
go.
once.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's all of them at once, so we'll talk about the first 2 when you've taken it all in.
I love it. It's like a manga. It's
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
awesome. All right, so here's the first 2. It's clearly ran with some dragon
Calendar.
tentacle porn going on. I mean, it's wrapping around his crotch,
As it should be.
and it's spectacular. I'm not sure who the second one is, although it looks like it's maybe a queen in dreaming. I don't know.
It's butterflies, so it's got to be dreaming. Yeah.
I mean, it's very manga and it's very crazy, but it's also kind of awesome.
I'm enjoying it.
Let's see here.
The key there is they're not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
A
manga. I mean,
shock
like
of red
it's
hair.
a little.
Jesus.
It's weird to see Wheel of Time characters drawn that way, I guess. Like
Yeah.
it's just an odd portrayal of like a fantasy type character. But it's not horrible art. But look at that dragon. Look at that crotch. It is
That dragon
wrapped.
is looking at the crotch.
It is
Very fun.
directly. No, I'm
Yeah.
talking about like the part of the dragon that goes down in between his legs.
You're very focused on the dick.
I mean, come on. Come on, Tom.
Next.
All right, next. I assume Elaine.
And an
I
Ave.
thought it was Nynaeve.
No,
Nynaeve
it's
and-
back.
Braid.
No, Elaine's behind her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And obviously
Nynaeve and
mad
Elaine.
because of the wolf head, but
that's cool too.
or
Those are
fox
cool.
head, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, so that's him tied up, I guess, like he's being hanged towards the end.
Maybe
Is that why his hands are?
it's wrapped in
there's no-
vines, which is odd.
Is that well, I mean, that's a little more artistic way of.
He goes Super Saiyan when he channels. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of desperately want an anime of these books.
I mean, it'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, it would.
Especially, I mean, have you watched any of those Star Wars?
No, I haven't.
Like random, like they're really good.
Mm.
Some of them are weird, but like some of them are just like I'm a random Jedi fighting a random, Sith on a like jumping across ships in space, and I'm like, this is fucking. I know it's stupid, but this is fucking awesome.
I should watch. That's probably fun as shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got here's some
Here's
some real red lipstick dick Wolfman parent.
That is definitely
no
is
mustache.
Down something. Oh, no mustache. I rocked a little bit of a no mustache when I was like 20, 21, and I couldn't grow one. It's a very disappointing time. I look back at pictures and I'm like, why didn't I at least just try? just beard, no mustache.
Like, this mustache isn't coming in so great. You know what? I'm gonna shave it.
Shave it all.
Let's leave the
No
bottom.
one knows I've failed.
Why didn't I at least just try?
Yeah.
I don't know what this. I don't know.
You're just completely smooth pubes, but hairy balls and taint.
They're better than the actual Star Wars stuff.
Oh, I used to have a lot
I'm
of
from the
opinions
Tree of
about Star
Life.
Wars too.
Oh, Whataholic nailed it. That makes sense.
Did you see that? That's why I said he was hanged.
I think that's
Yeah, but
another
I mean-
world of dreams.
The Tree of Life part, I didn't connect.
Yeah, how do we not connect that? God,
I don't know.
That's embarrassing.
Well, we're dumb and drunk.
Werewolf of London vibe.
His hair was perfect.
He's very. I mean, I feel like it's more like Teen Wolf. Like it's very like I'm still a human, but also very wolf-like. I could play
just, like-
basketball like a motherfucker.
He looks very villainous.
He does. I don't know.
Did you
That's
not
what he
finish the
looks like.
series?
That's what he looks like when Fael comes into the room, like smelling like she's ready to go. He's like, "Fuck yes."
That's it. Just turns his head over his shoulder.
I can smell you coming down the hall.
Can smell you getting off the elevator.
Oh, I also thought Teen Wolf because we're old Whataholic.
All right. So what's the,
My stash is going to human. It still sucks. Human's cool though. Oh, okay.
yeah.
I don't know
good for his-
what's part 6. What is that?
World of Dreams again, I
I-
assume.
Yeah,
Yeah,
World
but,
of
like,
Dreams, because it's got this very kind
Is
of
it a
like,
red
nebulous-
sister? Is it Elaine? Is that
It's a
Leanne?
queen.
Are those braids?
It's a queen.
That's not a queen.
It's not a queen. I think it's Elaine. At this point,
think
she's
it's
got because she's using the Terangriel at some points, right? To meet.
You say that like we could figure it
out.
out from what the character looks like. Look at Perrin. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, they like match. Like, look at Elaine's hair versus Nynaeve's. Look at like who we
Yeah.
thought was a queen earlier. Like that doesn't
Take that
look like
take
the
that
same
necklace
character.
off Matt. Take that necklace off Matt and tell me that's Matt.
Fair point.
That's Matt.
I
told
mean,
you.
it's as close to Matt as I think I could imagine. And here's the last two, and we're done. This is the last covers I've got.
I don't know who the one on the right is.
Who's
that
the one on the
Lanfear?
right? That red coat?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I don't know. Red hair.
I do love that coat.
It's honestly almost too
Uh,
spot on.
Yeah,
Like, wait,
yeah,
they
that
got
coat's
to write this time.
everywhere.
Aren't
for
they more
whatever
interpreted
reason-
this time?
Every
I mean, it's
author
just
can put that
it's
coat.
it's good color choices. You know, it's a Superman costume. It's the one that makes the most sense. You know, translates the best. Who's on the left? I mean, it could be fucking anybody. The way they draw.
I don't know why. My first guess is Lanfear, which doesn't
Mm-hmm.
really apply. I mean, obviously she's in this book, but
Yeah,
let's go with Elida.
I mean, that's a possibility. Who would be prominent in the 7th section of this book if it was split up into sections?
Again, Lanfear is there. Ascendra is there.
Yeah.
Who's dark hair.
It's Lanfear.
That's what I thought too.
I don't think it's a question.
Well, it is. Yeah, he just asked it.
Wanaholics' red dress is Leandrin. I agree. I think it's Leandrin. Oh, Wanaholics maybe Alvarian or Moraine, Beach said.
It could be Moraine.
I mean, it could be.
Why wouldn't it be blue?
Yeah, what's not?
Yeah, I feel like it was Moraine to be heavy in the blue.
There's no jewel on her. Like she's not wearing her Cassane or whatever. Is it the Cassane
Yeah.
for her?
Here's the real question: if you read that book and you're Japanese, are you like, who's on the cover? And you're like, it's obviously so and so.
Brandon,
Are you just like-
we're talking about the white dress.
Are you just like, I don't know who's on the cover either?
I don't know who it is. Could be anybody.
I was
guess
excited
I'll
to
read-
see where you were going. I was going to stay very quiet to see where you ended up with that. But no, it's a great point because, yeah, I would like to think that we're reading the same books, obviously.
Yeah.
Unless it's,
It can't be more
And we're-
any more obvious to a Japanese person. They're just like- but what if we show a Japanese person the cover to book 4 and they're like, who the fuck is this? What's happening here?
well, in fairness, hold on. I still feel that way about book 4. 'Cause
That's what I mean.
I don't know.
Do you think there's a Japanese tWoTcast doing the same thing right now?
I would
Yeah, they're
love
looking at
to
the
be
American
there.
covers going like, what the fuck?
I would
Who is
love
this
to be
supposed
Is that
Japanese
supposed to be
podcast
parent?
host.
He's clearly Teen Wolf.
They're looking at book 1 and they're just like, I guess this is Lan. I don't know. And that's Nicolas Cage. Do you think they have a Nicolas Cage joke in other countries too?
100%.
Yeah, they have to.
A dude's fucking ubiquitous. He's everywhere.
Well, it's not just that. It's clearly Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
It's obviously Nicolas Cage, you know?
All right, let's get to the actual fucking reason we're here, which is
Talking
Next
about the
week we're
unbearable weight
covering-
of massive talent. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It's great.
Of
I
course
have not. It's been queued up like 5 different times.
Man,
dude.
it's
I
so
passed
good.
out drunk.
Oh, Johnny, you gotta watch it.
Surprising.
Good.
Like, it's better than you think.
Well, I don't think very well.
It lives up to the hype.
Even with that unbearable weight.
Yeah, you're just like,
I would
okay.
say
I, guess I'll-
Fail, but no unibrow.
I think the same thing
There
when
you
you're
go.
just like, I've queued it up 5 times and like, I don't know, I fell asleep. Like, just when you start, you just be like, all right, never mind. Everybody was right. This is great.
Tom, let's see how well you remember chapter 1 / probably should have been the prologue of The Shadow Rising.
Well, hold on. We went too far.
Oh, we did?
The
Jono wants to show us
dedication.
a map, I assume. Or oh, what is it, Jono?
The dedication. I actually reached out to Maria.
Oh.
Yeah. So let me grab the email.
How weird of you.
Well, I didn't know who it was. So the dedication is to a guy named like Robert Marks, and like author, editor, whatever. So she sent me an obituary from the New York Times, and here is the most interesting thing about that. I don't have a New York Times subscription, and I could not read it.
How dare you?
So this guy died at 85 years old in 1993, and he was an editor and author, and he and Jim had been very good friends. Jim is Robert Jordan, and there was cassette tapes of their conversations around the house at the time, and he had died by the time Maria started working there. So anyway, R.I.P. to him, who was apparently important enough to have kind of made the dedication.
I was about to say, who has cassette tapes of conversations with their friends? And then I just realized we've done this for 13 years.
I have cassette tapes of all my conversations.
Yeah.
Just every day.
Rewinding them too to listen again.
No, I just hit
Pencil
record.
in there.
Just hit record.
You know, I told Lindsay I was going to delete my social media. And I was like, the only downside is you won't be able to bring me back as an AI robot after I die. And then I just realized there's all of this.
Oh my god, yeah. Are you kidding? We could
But you bring me back after I
You
die as
know-
an AI robot, but it'll be drunk at all times.
when
So like a normal?
that's best. When you inevitably don't watch season 3, I'm just gonna make an AI version of you to be like, Tom, what do you think? And we'll just be like,
I might be.
Holy
I actually,
shit.
I actually might be able to do
It'll be
that.
like, I hate that show.
I'll mess around with it.
All right.
Hey, yes. Can we have Tombot and Tom? And I don't know which one.
Yeah, Tom just doesn't have to watch the show. We'll just have Tom.
No,
plug in
Tombot. Tombot just listens to Tom's, like, a couple episodes or seasons of it. but actually try to make Tom watch the show.
Is
and then
there a
listen to
way?
himself
Is
rant.
there a way to have the AI like watch that episode, and then like based on all these like pre-recordings of Tom ranting about the show, just like extrapolate his opinions? That's what we need.
Well, I think he already hit it. It's just going to be no, fuck this. I'm a piece of shit. I'm Tom.
Fuck the show.
I mean, there's certainly a way to give the AI bot reviews of the show and synopsis and all that stuff, so it knows what happened.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's not that
Listen,
hard.
I'm just trying to find a way for you not to have to watch the show, because if
The only-
you
Fuck
figure
that.
it out,
He
Tom,
has
you know
to-
what you're gonna do? You're gonna watch the show.
He's
The
got to
only
watch
hard-
the fucking show.
The only difficult part would be, I think there's like
Watching.
a couple monthly subscriptions you have to do to like do the face
Well,
and
it
the
just
voice.
depends on how much time and money we're willing to put into creating a fake Tom.
Oh, do the like and subscribe.
I think
I'll-
Yeah.
I
for
think
some
only
money on
like
Patreon.
I don't think it'll be that much, but yeah, we definitely need Patreon money for it.
Tombot and not Rotom? It rhymes with Scrotom.
Ooh, I like Scrotom.
Yeah,
That
Rotom's
is-
good.
Yeah.
All right, chapter
Would
1,
be
Season of the
the-
Shadow, Jono.
Tomatron 5000.
So it's amazing how quickly this grows, because this is chapter 1, Season of Shadow, and by the end of it, the whole thing, Shadow is rising. That is obviously very fertile land wherever it's been planted.
Yeah, clearly not defiled by the Dark One. Well, as we all know, one of his three-pronged plans is to fuck with the weather, to fuck with growing things. But the shadow itself, he wants it to grow, so he's probably
It grows well.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
nurturing it.
He's-
The Tominator.
So I think I've ranted
Bad
about this
Arnold
before, and
Wait, hold on.
Joe.
I don't see how the show is going to do season 4. They've not set up anything for season 4. Rand can't channel at all. Naive can't channel when angry, and Matt has been non-existent.
There's not going to be a season 4. Calm down. If that's not plain as day to everybody at this point, I don't know.
Wait,
what
isn't
to tell
season
you.
3 we're waiting for?
Season 3 is what's coming up,
So
which is book 4.
Oh, book 4. Okay. So yeah. First off, Tom's note is always very positive. It's gonna be
Wildaholic just
canceled.
said, or have they? They haven't. They haven't. Oh, I meant season 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Christian
All right, well,
Robert,
let me
so
read
your
read
point-
this. I don't see how the show is going to do season 3. They have not said. Okay.
Isn't that going to be book 3 with sprinklings of book 4 though?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's
It
going to be
sounds like it's
mostly
gonna be
book
book-
4 with
It's
sprinklings
book
of 3.
book 3, 4, and
Yeah.
maybe 5 kind of intermingled.
What if they already know they're canceled and at the last episode of season 3, Rand rides a fire dragon that Moraine made into Shia and kills all the vampire Forsaken?
You know what? Based on how the show is going, very
Maybe.
possible.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
possible.
Just floating out some ideas.
All right,
Meanwhile, in the
show is
background,
dumb,
Rafe
the
is-
show is great.
Oh no, the chat's gonna turn on
Yeah,
each other.
we're talking about the book right now. Let's
Yeah,
dial down
yeah.
the shows.
All right. So I think I complained about this a long time ago. But
long time
I'm going to start in
ago.
paragraph 1. And I can imagine my wife is hearing me say paragraph 1 of chapter 1 and going, well, I'm going to see him at midnight.
Give me a prompt for each section before you dive into detail. You would
Well,
All right,
here is
here's the
the
4
wind.
sections of chapter 1. Min, Elida, Dane Bonehold, and Suroth.
all right. Just give it as we go.
All right.
All right. Before we even get anywhere, though.
Yeah.
A wind rose on the great plain called the Caroline Grass. All right. North
is more-
and west.
This is more Farmer's Almanac stuff.
I know. North and west, the wind blew beneath early morning sun.
Uh-huh.
Over this, over that, past the broken fang of Dragon Mount. This is upsetting to me
Uh-huh.
because if you grab any fucking map, including the one in this book, the Caroline Grass is just north of Andor, and the Dragon Mount is north fucking east. It clearly should have said north fucking east. How it is that was never fixed bothers me. It bothers me.
This day in tWoTcast history.
Yeah, I knew it. I fucking knew it as soon as I started.
Jono's back in the year 2011. Jono's first thought was, "Why the fuck is the wind blowing from the wrong direction?" And then we got off on an interesting tangent of Tom saying, "Well, maybe the dark one is the wind," and it blows wherever the fuck he wants, and it doesn't. But that didn't really answer your directional question. And then
maybe the dark one happened to compass.
I mean, clearly, it's just a misprint. Like an edit that should have been caught that wasn't caught.
But do other versions have that corrected? Like, it just feels like very obvious.
I don't think so. I mean,
the book I've got, a friend of mine found it.
Do you think that after this book, where they made the prologue chapter 1 and they didn't get the direction of the wind right, they're like, we got to hire Maria and Ellen.
This is so. Maria did not start until book 7.
Yeah.
Right.
So the answer is
Makes
maybe.
sense.
Good to see I'm not the only one with a. Oh, okay. I'm with Aussie no matter what I said or he said. Or we are in agreement if agreement means shooting Sauso. Oh, wow. Which, as we all know, is The Shadow Comes, I think.
Oh,
Something like
that
that.
is-
The Caroline Grass is clearly the ass hair of the creator, Jono. That answers your question right there. It's just the dark one going.
I mean, there is no answer to the question. What are we supposed to say?
Yeah.
Why is it wrong?
Clearly, it's misprinted
Your complaint has been lodged. Next.
twice over the course of 13 years.
And you know what, Maria?
Correct
listen,
this in future printings. How dare you?
Until you stop putting this fucking show up on iTunes and shit. Maria told us she used to listen all the time.
I'll
Yeah, we should.
Harry Potter.
Yeah,
I'll text Rosamund Pike and make sure she reads it the other way for the audiobook for Shadow Rising.
Thank you. That's all I'm asking.
It'll be correct in one audio version of the books.
At a time, just one at a time.
Just that one.
All right. What do you got for the rest of the chapter?
Is that your
That's
only
all I've
comments
got.
on the wind, Jono?
It's the only comment on the entire first chapter.
Oh, okay. Well, we've got El Mindretta Min entering the tower, which I did not say this 13 years ago, but apparently I should have, because I had the same thought. I feel like I have every time I read this book, and it's me forgetting that that's how she shows up at the tower. Like, I always kind of like lose track of, like, I remember her being there with Suan and Leanne and everything and Gwyn, and I remember everything that like happens after and everything that happened with her beforehand, but like her just randomly showing up at the tower. I mean, like, I need to talk to Swan or the Emerald Sea, and I'm like, I forget that every time. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how she got there. She just shows up.
So she's just like, well, not just, but for her perspective, the shit that happens with Rand running away in book 3 is really the last time we see her, right? The Shinarans go down to, I think, Morandi. The rest follow Rand, and then she is sent in the very strange path, because there's not really a good looking map for her that doesn't look through either wilderness or going to take 6 years back to the tower. And here she is now, finally, one book later. Welcome.
The main point of this section, Tom, is that she demands her rights to see the Amerlin like face to face, which I guess you're allowed to do.
Tom, what do you remember?
Oh,
remember I was just texting my wife about the temperature in the baby's room and checking it before I went to bed.
So let me go back to what I was saying. This section, Tom, if you remember, is her showing up at the tower, demanding to talk to the Amerlin. She runs into Gwyn in the hallways, but the whole way she's having visions of like the battle to come. And then basically she talks to Swan, and Swan kind of traps her there as like a useful tool, versus like, she's like, all right, I'm done with this. I delivered a message. See you later. And she's like, no, I need you here. So, I mean, that's kind of the whole section, but we can get into detail. The viewings. What? Go ahead.
Why is she there again?
Moraine sent her there to let her know that Rand was, because this is actually as we see in this section, before Rand
scam
pulls
from
Kalendor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rand has not yet, at least as far as the Amirlan knows, Swan does not know that Rand has pulled Kalendor. She actually knows no idea where he is. So when Min gets there,
done that. Rain just sent Min back, so she's under control.
well, also she had wings like a snow white dove.
Just like a white winged dove.
Yeah, that's it. I was on a different song, but that still works.
Do you think Moraine wanted Min out of the way?
No, I think that she knows it's a safe place, but also it's one.
She saw them
fewer.
in book 1 at Bearline. She's like, they're gonna fuck.
Yeah, I think that is part of it.
Yeah,
she could smell what the Min was cooking.
It's funny you bring that up, Tom, because like Swan puzzles that out like really fast while talking to her.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, "Oh, you love him," and she's like, "What?
Yeah.
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that." And she's like, you do though. I can tell."
The
Like the minute Rand comes up in conversation, she's like, "You can't control him. I don't know what you're thinking, or you're doing a shitty job." And she's like, "Oh, you
the
love
pattern
him."
makes her literally wet as soon as his name is like mentioned. Like everyone in the room knows it. Like she's the only one not aware that
Especially
she's like,
Perrin.
Perrin knew like just like 3
Smell
rooms
her
over.
coming off the elevator.
the pattern's a remote control vibrator with a phone app.
Yeah, the egg inside.
Mm.
Well, that's something we didn't say 13 years ago. Congratulations, boys.
It didn't exist.
It did. It's just not as like it wasn't as good.
No way it existed 13 years ago. There were barely iPhones.
Are you kidding? Yeah.
They had remote control.
We're talking about the dark ages, Jono. 2011. You remember that
For
time?
real, just for the fuck of it, I was rewatching Attack of the Show, like it was on a YouTube channel, and we saw the scroll come across, and there was like an episode from like 2008, and it was just like, Apple in talks with AT&T to create a touchscreen phone, like at the bottom. It's really weird. It wasn't that long.
I mean,
ago.
Jono, you didn't have a smartphone until like 2017.
Yeah,
It was
what are you talking
2030. Yeah, I'm still getting one. I can't wait.
The dark
wanted to
ages
think-
ended with the release of the iPhone. She isn't unaware. She's in denial. Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
that her.
No, yeah.
I agree
We
with
know
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can we talk
I think
about
she's
Min's-
frustrated that it's so obvious to everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's definitely hates that as obvious because she even says something just so on about it. She's like, "You knew right away." She's like, "Oh yeah, right away."
I think it'd be frustrating to constantly have it thrown in your face and people like, "Hey, you're a cougar," and we all know it, and so do you.
It's not that in the book.
But I mean, in this context, in this universe, like that's pretty cougar behavior. By the time you're 30, you're like married with 5 kids.
a different show.
If you're 21 and he's 18, you're just like, oh shit, all right.
Yeah.
Great.
Tom, you're going to appreciate this thought that I don't think we really had. Do you remember what Min's...
You're probably wrong.
Do you remember what Min's disguise is to walk into the tower so that no one would see her?
No. Washerwoman?
She grew her hair out 2 inches and wore a dress.
Yeah, Jono, that's incredibly smart.
That's it.
It's longer.
No
Like,
one will recognize her. She's in disguise. The hood is up.
I don't have face recognition.
By the way, I love that. So in the conversation with Swan, she's like, now that you're going to stay here permanently, because I just roped you into this kind of thing, as they're reaching the end of the discussion, she basically says like, oh, we're going to go full on into this disguise you made, but you can't keep a hood up all the time because that's insane. So you're going to have to grow your hair out and do all this lipstick and makeup stuff, like kind of thing, and really embraces Elmendretta kind of side of what she's doing. And I'm like, that's so funny because like her disguise is just so like,
it's almost like
about
Robert
now?
Jordan's just like, I like tomboys, but I wish they were sexier. What do I do about this?
yeah, I like tomboys, but maybe wear a dress.
If she
every
had
once
just
in a
like
while.
recommended like pull this, like wear these, and it was just the mustache nose sunglasses combo, like that would have not been dissimilar from like the plan here, which is just like, put these on.
I mean, that's
Like a
basically-
Groucho Marx?
Yeah.
Hey, Superman can wear glasses.
Look, that works.
Yeah.
It does work. Yeah.
So, like I said, the Groucho marks on Min would have worked.
Oh yeah,
It
definitely.
I mean, it definitely would have worked to draw a lot of attention to her.
That's okay.
Like, what's the big loss?
Few other
And
things.
she was just like,
doing weird jokes the whole time too. Strange character.
Why does that make
Stop
me
talking
think
about
of the
ducks.
Charleston?
I don't know. I don't know. Joe, obviously there's this is the like it's a very foreshadowing, creepy fucking chapter, really, because what does Min see? She's like what, 3 or 4?
Well, it's like death and injury on basically. She said she saw 7 Aes Sedai and 4 of them died on the same, and they die on the same day, quote unquote.
Not
and
good
then, like
odds.
most of the warders all have like viewings of either injury or death, including Gwyn. And then I think the thing that like is a key to somebody reading it the first time is that she also says she saw servants swearing or like having like died or like, and it's all in the same, meaning like the battle doesn't happen somewhere else. Like you don't send a bunch of Aes Sedai. She's trying to warn Suan. She's like,
yeah, there's
you
no
don't send a bunch of
war.
Aes
It's
Sedai
here.
somewhere and something happens. Like whatever happens in the White Tower kind of thing.
it's pretty brilliant to have a character that can see the future but can only see it vaguely, so you can always tease the reader but you never like paint yourself into a corner.
Yeah, she goes.
Like you have vague
that is
plans
really
for the
brilliant.
future, and you're like, oh, this is gonna happen, and like, you know, you'll get to it eventually, but like it's pretty rare when she sees somebody like, oh, that person's gonna die.
Yeah. So she describes that in this chapter as like knowing, because quote unquote, when she knows, and and other things she can, and she's like, I know 10% of the time, 90% of the time I just see stuff, you know, when I see stuff, that is.
That made me
when
like
I
men
see stuff, it's like
just
I
a
know
little bit.
exactly what it means, like X amount, and it's a very small percentage, basically. Like it's.
Do you ever
very,
see
like,
somebody on social media say, if you know, you know, and you want to punch them in the face?
Yeah.
When you, just said,
If you know that,
when you said that about men, I was just like, oh, I like her less.
No, the key is like her knowing exactly what the
Not a
vision
direct
means
quote.
is very infrequent. You know, like so, like I think that's a great way for her to have viewings of the future, but like you were saying, not paint himself into a corner, like because he can be like, she saw this, but she doesn't know what it means, you know, kind of thing, and you just leave it open ended, and that's like 90% of the viewings, and then like
It's
the
a
other
great
10%,
tool.
you're like, oh, I know
have her
exactly
like,
what I saw.
Something terrible is gonna happen here, and I don't know what, and I don't know when. You're like,
Glenn
oh,
said, is
everyone's
this
on
when
the
she
hook?
sees Sheriam's death? She does see a viewing of
not
Sheriam.
Sheriam's death. It's
But it's not
Sheriam
her
being
death, right?
tortured. Yeah.
Mhm.
I also like the idea that Tom that gives the wiggle room for the author's preferred edition.
Yeah.
I always prefer that with books like, kind of revisited that a couple books later. So here's the author's preferred version, wherein she does not see that. So, you know,
Beach
always
said, now,
have
were
that.
any of those deaths from the Sean Chan attack?
Presumably not, because
Presumably not, because they all happen on the
days.
same day, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You know, like when
I
the
mean, it
tower
could have been.
splits. But there is one that she clearly saw a Sean Chan collar on.
Yeah.
But that she doesn't tie in with the deaths. So
Maybe that makes it more confusing because she sees
Yeah.
the rebellion.
I think the
and
reason of
Sean
throwing
Chan
a Sean Chan collar vision in there is to like throw off the scent or the clue that this is all like an internal conflict kind of thing, or like maybe that the Sean Chan will somehow attack. Also, the end of the chapter.
It's actually a great point too, because like, again, there's build up to what the fuck this is, which is like, hey, I want you to know, like, dig out these dark friends. 13 left, but I don't know how many are actually still here. And the answer is like 200, however the fuck that happened.
Yeah,
but
it's like,
you know,
half.
like, yeah, it's nuts. So how exorcism on that. But
They need, you know what they needed at the tower? A defense against the dark arts teacher.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, you know, when you mix in that Sean Chan,
I mean, the
thing,
perfect teacher is there,
changed.
Tom. He's just teaching potions instead.
Oh, by the way, I think that's one of the prompts for Watchtober, isn't it? Potions.
No, it's poem.
Oh,
Joe, you have to do that next year.
Just all
Do
Harry
it.
Potter.
All Harry Potter, every prompt.
Is every Harry Potter prompt?
is that what is that? Oct Potter? No.
Well, the original
Podtober.
thing's called
It's
Inktober. You're supposed to
Yeah,
just
but-
use pen and ink, so it's permanent. So you don't. The idea is like to not think and just, it's permanent. And I have to.
Yeah,
if I
the
fuck
idea
up,
is
I
like
just
if you're busy on a Saturday and it's 11:30, you just have to do
Yeah,
one in 30
just
minutes.
wait.
You
just
don't
wait
say
the
I'll
next
do
day.
2 on Monday. You just
Yeah,
fucking
that's
bang them out.
the opposite of what you do. Yeah,
No, that's it. You do one every day, no matter what.
yeah, I can't do
Yes.
that.
It
It's
doesn't
the weekend, Tom. I like to get drunk.
But you can put like a rough out. You don't have to do a finished piece every day.
Don't cock this
Some of those
right
were
like
rough.
that.
You know what
No,
it is? Every day I got more and more
I'm
complicated.
pressuring him.
And then, like by the 13th day, I'm like, I gotta go higher. Gotta go more.
Yeah, if you do like day 1 through 6, and you're like, oh, these are okay, and then everybody starts liking them, you're like, oh, I have to get really.
Oh, now
good
I have
at
to
it.
try. Oh, it's the opposite of that. It's just like I got into the swing of things, and I was like, oh, I'll make this more complicated. Oh, I'll make this
Yeah,
more
do some
complicated.
rough.
I was like, what
Do
the
some
fuck was
do
I
some day-
thinking?
Do some days that are just sketches and roasts, and just fucking pop them.
Yeah,
out.
just throw them out there.
Get nuts with
Yeah.
it. Do a Home Alone one. Or
Yes.
real time characters.
Yes.
No, I did that. I did that for day 10 was Leaf. I just drew me and the Leaf guys Puppet Boys.
Yeah, why you? You fucking
Can't
selfish
Oh,
prick.
Pottober, he nailed it.
Can't you do Harry? That's what I said. Can't you do Harry in a shawl?
Yeah,
He does love that fucking scarf.
I mean it's red because I could do like the maroon.
Yeah.
Is it maroon? It's dark red.
Do a
Quidditch
screenshot
robes.
from Home Alone, but put a wheel time character in it. You gotta get nuts with it. Do you know when I first started dating Lindsay? She was in a speech class, and she's like, "We have to do a speech about a movie," and I was like, "Oh, do the Entourage movie because it just came out." She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because it's so fucking stupid. Everyone would be blown away." And then her next speech, I was like, "Do something else from Entourage. Do Entourage the entire class. They will talk about that for the rest of their lives. Somebody in that class will be 57 and be like, I was in speech class one time in college, and this girl was obsessed with Entourage."
All she did was talk about Entourage.
She did the
Glenn
first
said-
speech about Entourage. She's like, I was so embarrassed the whole time. Like, everybody's
Tom
looking at
did
me
say
like, what are
Pottober.
you
I said
talking about?
Pottober.
Oh, 2
There's
T's.
a difference, Tom. Also,
that-
obviously, it's got to be Harry Pottober.
That's Joe's fault for not understanding how to pronounce it or how to spell Pottober. Well, I love this Entourage thing. I think I knew that, but I forgot because I got drunk while you told me.
It's a hilarious story.
It's a hilarious story. That I just
Like, what if we did that for a month and there was like a new watcher and they were just like, all these guys were talking about this Entourage. It's a Wheel Time show. I don't understand.
they're just talking about Entourage a lot. All they're doing is likening Rand, Matt, and Perrin to E and just want to remember any of the other characters.
I could be a first. I've never seen Entourage, so I could be a first time.
Me and her were in DC at the Lincoln Memorial, and when you walk in and turn left, it's like the Gettysburg Address on the wall. And she went left, and I went right. And I'm like looking at it, and then she came over. She was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "I think it's a Declaration of Independence." And like we just both took it very seriously and talked about it for a while. And everybody around us was like, "Man, these are the two stupidest people I've ever seen."
I love that.
How do they not know the speech of Lincoln's?
Tom, do you remember? This is the Wayback Machine right now. We went to Disney World, Jono, one time, and every time Tom saw somebody with a with a fucking video camera on, like filming. This is back in the day when people actually had actual video camera, like to film shit. Every time Tom saw somebody taking a video of Disney World, he would be like, SeaWorld, I want to go to SeaWorld. And would just yell that as we were walking by. And I was like, you're a fucking lunatic. And by the 5th or 6th time, you're just laughing because, like, how many people from this one day are going to go home with videos of Disney World with some dickhead kid in the background yelling about SeaWorld?
How long ago was that?
It just made my day. I don't know. I was probably 13, maybe 10, probably.
I hate Disney World. I want to go to SeaWorld.
This is a good 3 decades ago.
So Tom was 30.
You want to talk about viewings more, or do you want to talk about Gwen?
I want to talk about. I've got a question. If you guys are into a full philosophical thing to yell about, I said hi. One of the things I think is very interesting is kind of the way she walks into the tower, right?
Yeah.
Like as a supplicant, and like how afraid everyone is. And I get it, right? To a certain extent, sorcery kind of frightening. But is it understandable that after 3,000, well, at least the last 1,000 years, there hasn't been really
Sure.
any huge issues? Aes Sedai still have this like I don't know what you'd call it, like exude this like fear. They're not out in the community. They are like something to be respected, but also like, they have no interest in like kind of like fomenting a
Relationship with the general public.
yeah, at all.
Yeah.
That's does it seem like that's the opposite of what they should be doing? Now, again, obviously,
I mean, we've said this a
bunch.
bunch of times on the podcast for random moments in time, but like one of the things that I always thought was insane was like, why don't the yellows have hospitals? Like, why aren't the greens like all up on the borderlands? Like, why? But I assume that that's all because of Ishmael fucking with the White Tower,
And that's yeah.
And just like fucking with them internally to the point where they focus internally and they don't first focus externally, and therefore like they're not as powerful as they probably should be, or
There
not
should
even
be
powerful, but just like outdoing the right things.
Eighth Aja that's the marketing Aja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if there were yellows,
That's
in
kind of
every
the Greys'
city,
job, right? Like, why aren't the Greys like
true.
in every
100%,
kingdom going like,
yeah.
"Hey, we're here to help"? Like, why don't we establish an embassy where we like do random things there and help heal you or help this or
Yeah,
you know,
it's
or
charitable
whatever.
foundation of the Aes Sedai.
Yeah, if
Like,
there are
the
hospitals in every
basis
city,
of all
the
the
Yellow
Ajas.
Aja did it. People would aspire to be Yellow Aja and be doctors. Like,
Yeah.
the people would aspire.
And you
to be
wouldn't have all
green.
these like fucking Nanibs
Yeah.
out there like dealing in herbs.
Yeah,
and
even if
spices,
you had Reds patrolling the streets looking for male channelers, like people would aspire to be that. Like,
Well,
instead
people
they're-
fear
they're
male
inside.
channelers, so that would be probably fine with most.
That's what I
places.
mean.
I just
like,
feel
would
like-
be okay with that too.
Calm down, dog.
Frankie, Jesus.
But you know what I mean? Like,
but-
people would be less afraid and aspire to join your ranks instead of
Yeah, this like
what they're
the
doing.
reason I
They
brought this
also
up-
have low numbers too. They do have
But
low
they wouldn't.
numbers in
numbers are out
comparison
there.
to like I don't know the grand spectrum of things. But if every city had like 4 Aes Sedai in it of like varying Ajas, and then I don't know, a random instance happens where like they need healers, they could be like, "Oh, I'm the yellow one that's stationed in Tyr. I'll send away for more yellow sisters to come here and help out." Like there's a way of divvying out like.
Well, it's the respect that people
Proportioning out
have
numbers of Aes
for the
Sedai,
red
yeah.
belts in Abu Dar. Like, you just have that be yellow Aes Sedai at every
Yeah,
city.
yeah.
Yeah, I love the fact that because I think the answer is yes. You guys are fucking stupid for not having done this, but also I think Joe said it immediately, which is the
Ishmael's just been
Ishmael
fucking
kind of
Yeah.
he's been fucking with us, and not just like
And hence the
directly.
Black Aja also. Yeah.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
and we see later on how many like, Black Aja there are, and they are way too many. Disturbingly,
They're a
so.
legion.
Yeah, but not the movie. And so
Without
again,
traveling, that is redundant. Yeah, explain yourself, Wadaholic. I think I need more. I need more of that.
I love the explain yourself. It's a demand.
Well, I mean, like he's in chat. He can talk.
But like this
yeah.
whole chapter to me, like one of the things I really
He
like
can speak
about
for
it.
himself.
One of the
Well, I'm
things I
not
like
saying
about this-
travel between places wouldn't be long. That's why you need like a little mini white tower, like spread out through the world. Like in different places of prominence, at least. Like if you're in the Two Rivers, you should be able to travel to Andor to have your dad healed because he
Two Rivers is Andor.
snapped his leg,
Mm.
and that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean Camelin, but yes, he said Camelin.
Oh, sorry, yeah, to Camelin, yeah, the large city.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the sticks, you should be able to travel to like a larger city and be like, hey, I really need you to come here because my dad fell off the fucking hoe and like broke his leg.
I mean, it makes sense in the context of the books. We're just criticizing the decision of the Aes Sedai over thousands of years.
Well, I think that like one of the things I actually really like about this chapter, and I came up with it after.
Oh, Yellow's calling for. Yeah, I guess Yellow's calling for help over 2 months of travel. Yeah, if there's
They
something
have
she couldn't
pigeons.
handle. Yeah, if she couldn't handle it though, like they'd still have to travel by horse.
You don't have,
But still, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, you handle as much as you can.
Yeah,
What
it's
do you
better
think?
than nothing. Is all I'm saying. Yeah,
Sound like my mom. But to me, I've always thought it was very interesting, or not always. Sorry, like while reading this,
20
I
to
found this
30
very
for each
interesting
Aja? Is that your impression? Isn't it more?
for Black Aja.
No, for each Aja. Is that?
Oh, there's more. I think he's saying Black
think
Aja
it's
for each Aja.
Closer. I think it's that
Oh,
might be right.
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But I find it very interesting that every one of these fucking characters in this suffers from a massive amount of, maybe not everyone, but like this weird myopia that's kind of like done from like how stubborn they are about their viewpoint, and they're not like Elida's my favorite in a minute. But Swan has this like massively entrenched viewpoint. She's very well meaning for the world, but of like, well, we've got to do this. This is what's got to happen. We cannot let the Dragon Reborn be out on his own. Obviously, part of it's like, what do you think this is? Some type of fucking fantasy novel that's going to sell 100 million books? I mean, what is the deal with that? It's very strange, Swanfeld. Swanfeld. I like that.
I like that too. I was going to say it, but you did.
Yeah, but like, so it works with the whole point that these people have not changed really in hundreds of years. But it's also frustrating as fuck to read. 12.
We have to do an episode where you do an hour of material of Swanfeld.
Just a shitload of fishing jokes. You ever notice when your drink gets tangled in the reeds?
What's the deal with mudfish?
More like Ovaltine fish. Anyway.
Should I do that JordanCon? Should I do that JordanCon next year?
That's the whole live show.
Just dressed like denim button-up shirt, jeans that are high-waisted, white tennis shoes, like a Jerry Seinfeld wig, and then just wearing a Maryland shawl.
Hey, no joke. You could do it. You could do it like an episode of Letterman, and I'll be the band leader, and you have Joe, you're Letterman. You have a guest out. Then we have a second guest out. And then Jono comes out as the final guest as the comedian, does 10 minutes as Swan. It's not a terrible idea.
It's not the worst we've ever come up with.
10 minutes as a comedian.
And then, Jono, you'll know if you did a good job or not if Joe invites you over to the couch or if he just closes the show.
Yeah, I might just close the show. I'm going to be honest. I can't imagine Jono doing 10 minutes of Swanfeld and me being like, come on over, sit down, let's talk. I'll be like, man, that's the show.
10 minutes that's a lot. That's a lot.
A long
10 minutes is a long time.
I got to tell you, anytime you get a laugh, just let it go. Stretch that out. Stretch it out.
Yeah. Don't jump into your next joke. Listen to Tom. He knows what he's doing. Anyway, man, we've been off on a lot of tangents tonight. What was I thinking that this wouldn't be?
I don't know. I'm not gonna. I mean, I can't make it past 10:15. So
I mean, honestly, Tom, it's really the men's section that we want to talk about.
All right, we'll keep going.
I'm ready to go to the next section.
Oh, well, let's talk about Gwen for a second. You want to talk about Gwen?
Yeah, we can do that. The Blade Master to be.
Yeah. He's fought Hamar twice and won out of 5. But Galad fought him 3 times out of 5 and won 3.
Yeah,
won 3 times.
Yeah, 3 out of 5 as they it's pretty good. It definitely is a real quick foreshadowing of like, by the way, we're gonna be Blade Masters because we're about to kill our teachers in a few chapters.
Yeah. And Tom just leaves.
Yeah.
I have something for that.
Where is it? One?
It's here.
Yeah. I love that it just parks perfectly on it.
I mean,
so what? Yeah, I mean, what do you want to talk about with the go in stuff? Like, it's both like.
It's weird that he had an audience with the Armorland. Number one, it's like, why is he just like walking in yelling at the Armorland? Maybe he knows his rights like Min does. I demand to speak to her. Like, is she just like fucking placating him? Like, why is she even,
maybe?
Yeah, I guess.
So I don't.
Yeah, but she's putting herself into the position of having to lie to him and be like, "They're off on a farm. They're fine," kind of thing. And it's just like, why even talk to him? Just be like, go back to the practice yard, you fucking warder youngling.
He was talking with Leanne, which is in the antechamber, who then has one extra level of ability to lie. But so I don't blame Gwen. Like, Gawain obviously is going to take a giant turn negative. He's not there yet. Right now, it's true.
Yeah.
There's tangents everywhere. Right now, as far as he knows, all she is the daughter heir. He doesn't know anything about the Black Jaw. He doesn't know anything about that. It's like,
well, even Min even says like, I don't even think he realizes that. Well, because he says something along the lines of like, Elaine's playing at being Aes Sedai or something.
True.
Yeah.
And that's unrelated. Right now, she's the soon to be like queen of the largest country or one of the largest countries. Yeah. So her being gone is massively important. He's not
that's
wrong.
True. That's true. I'm just talking about in terms of him specifically.
Yeah,
he is concerned. Don't get me wrong. I mean, and what you're saying makes sense in that regard as well. I guess
that's
what I'm saying
the one
is
idiot thing he's got.
I think but I think the aspect that he's not grasping is what's just laid out in the text with Min going like, I don't think he understands how fucking powerful she's going to be, and like she's going to be there, like that's
true. But that doesn't matter as much. Even if she's one of the strongest ever, what does that matter versus being the queen of millions of people?
Well, to him, nothing.
But I don't blame him right now. What we don't know is the greater context, which is actually she's fighting the shadow at the time that the Dragon Reborn exists. And so all of a sudden, being the Queen of Andor doesn't mean shit, despite what she'll fucking do later. So it's a very bizarre turnaround right now in my mind. But right now, I think that Golin's totally fine. Yeah, and
he's also sworn to protect her. But that's what we're talking about.
No, I think that right now Golin's doing the right thing because he doesn't know everything.
Okay.
That will change.
Okay.
He will refuse to know anything, I guess. So it'll stay the same, but intentionally naive and ignorant, like a piece of shit.
Does Min agree to like stay, or does she kind of like get wrangled in?
Browbeaten.
Okay.
But too easily browbeaten.
Yeah, I feel like it's like if Min had tried at least a tiny bit to be like, nah, fuck you, kind of thing. Like she in the section of the chapter, she does like figure out that Siuan is manipulating her to like stay. But at the same time, but if you figure it out, why don't you just be like, no, I'm leaving? Like, but instead she's like, yeah, all right, fine.
Yeah, there's too many points where it's just like, I'm trapped. I'm like, no, you're not. Just leave.
You're not trapped. You just walk out. Just be like, okay, sounds good, and then you're on the bridges before she.
All you do is you pull up the hood, grow your hair out an inch, you're out of here.
Browbeaten. Don't talk about Fael yet.
It's got that Neanderthal brow, just swollen as fuck there.
Stop feeding him, Wyatt man.
All right, let's talk about other viewings. Min sees Siuan naked.
Yeah.
You know what she's doing?
Jerking off, I think, right?
No. Legitimate question. Do you remember what this is, right?
Well, yeah, it's when she gets stripped naked and stilled, right?
No. So there's actually two theories. One of them is when
she's yours.
Hooking up.
Is the second one the fake one?
Okay.
No.
All right.
Okay. One of them is
now I'm extra interested to hear.
One of them is hooking up with
Gareth Briney then?
No, and the other one is hooking up with Ace Ventura.
Oh yeah, Gareth Briney then.
Those are the two options.
Oh god damn it!
Just made them all.
Yeah.
Oh, women Jill off.
What would it sound like if Swan Sanchi hooks up with Ace Ventura, John?
Look at that trout.
It's a little late. I cannot imagine what my wife's gonna be doing right now, but it'd be the noise he makes when he comes out of the rhino, that that kind of like weird rubbery sound when he's just fingering that hole. That's it. Just and then that's
talk about Elida with Tom. I gotta go.
So that would be what that scene is.
Okay. Tell me about Elida.
So are we done with Siuan?
If you want to be, we don't have to be.
Well, I mean, we'll wait for Joe. But so this is what Siuan actually tells Min about the Black Jaw, and Min is frightened because, as she should be, that's not a great thing. And so this is when she asked about Rand, that kind of thing. And I apologize, this is not in order. So you know what? Fuck it.
You know, all of this works at the time. Like in hindsight, like I guess some of it feels weird, but I never had a problem with any of it.
No, I don't have a problem with it either. I think that I'm just nitpicking a few things because this is like my 69th read through. I do think that I think he uses sometimes, he being Jordan, like a little bit of our inability to really communicate well as a device, right? Our own internal biases become such a massive piece of how we make decisions and how we continue to make decisions without fucking learning. I think that that's like an intentional thing. And sometimes you look at it and you're like, well, this is simplistic as fuck. Like, why wouldn't you have a goddamn, just yellow Ajah palace out there so you're there amongst the masses for any sort of PR?
I don't know.
But the answer is, why the fuck do they need to? They don't feel like they need to.
Well, I guess, they're so old that they still feel aggrieved by the
How old are they?
marriage, I
was just gonna say, add that to the Swanfeld.
That's not a Swanfeld joke.
Doesn't matter.
Do you think Jono's gonna stick to the Swanfeld bits?
What's the deal with stripping me naked and stealing me?
They're so old. How old are they?
Do I have to be naked to be stilled?
I would listen to this fucking episode. Yeah.
Did you start?
Oh my god, Joe! If he does 10 minutes of Swanfeld, if you don't have that stinger to just play once in a while,
Of course.
especially if no one's laughing.
How would I not?
Bump it up, bump.
When it bombs.
When?
Sorry, Jono. When every joke bombs.
No. It'll bomb for like the first 2 minutes, and then like by minute 3, it's going to start getting.
It would be like, I get it, Swanfeld.
I want to go with one last thing.
Yeah.
For Swanfeld.
God damn
She
it.
she realizes that Min is in love with
I'm
Rand.
going in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Like, she realized that Min's in love with Rand. And she's just like, the first time I saw him, I saw me, Rand, and 2 other women. Can you imagine telling someone like, yeah, the first time I saw this like preordained person, I was in a quadruple. Like what a fucking like weird sentence. That's Swan doesn't bat an eye besides like,
well, she says like 3.
I
I think that's it, kind of like that's it.
That's why.
So like 3 others, huh? Or 3 women, huh?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like 3 women. What the fuck? It was just like, 3 women.
Very accepting. It's very accepting.
2 others?
Swan.
Who are they?
Yeah.
And she's like, their faces are blurry. And she's like,
Do you think that's true, or do you think she knew?
I'm sure she already saw it.
Well, apparently I thought it was true. Or I was at least entertaining the idea. We were like, you guys were both like, you're stupid. She knows. She saw, I think, it from Swan. And I was like, okay, my bad.
Well, doesn't mean we were right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just entertained. I was entertained. I was like, well, what if she is blurry? What if it was blurry and she doesn't know? And maybe she thought it's a queen, or maybe she thought it was, there was like enough evidence, I think, to like.
If you have a vision of yourself having foursome, but two of the faces are ghosts.
Blurry.
Some Ghostbuster scenario going on there.
I do always want to talk about that one thing where his pants just Ray's pants just unzip in the middle of his kids movie. Anyway, moving on to Elida.
Yeah, Elida, I mean, she's trying to bring down Swan, and she's spying on her and trying to gather information. And she has a random conversation with Alvarian that's like, hey, do you want to help me bring down Swan? Maybe? And she's like, what's your proof? Even though I don't need any, because I will absolutely help you do that. But that's the essential, that's kind of the points of the conversation. But
I forget that's how early we get Alvarian. I love her.
You know what, Tom? The one takeaway I had from that section of us talking about this 13 years ago is us both going like, "Man, Alvarian's awesome, man." I remember, you know, like just our love of that character, however fucked up she is at that
It's just
early
awful.
point in time, was like hilarious. Like how close.
Is that
we were.
weird and irrational and just us, or like do many people like her?
I don't know. I mean, I wonder if other people like. I mean, I'd be interested.
It can
to
be
see
both.
if other people liked her as much as we did. But like, I mean, we both like acknowledge like we know what she is. Like we know what she's gonna do,
Evil
and yet I
bitch.
still like her as a character. You know.
It has a
My-
boring ending.
Yeah.
Well, so my takeaway from this, beyond the obvious that I'm fucking glad that Alviren is back or in, is how fucking much I hate the same thing I've kind of mentioned before. Elida's just stupidity of she gets this massive boon early on. Her first foretelling has been accepted that, you know, the key to the last battle is the royal line of Andor. And
Yeah.
she has such a fucking hard on, or is it wet on a term? We'll go with wet on. For
Sure.
you hated that so much, your face. It's just such a fucking hard on for the idea that it has to be whoever the queen is, because that's the royal line, that it ignores everything else. It ignores whether or not Morghese had other children.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was other parts of the royal line of Andor, because that was the whole point. This was a royal, like, war of succession. It ignores all of that. I'm moist on. I like a moist on.
Thank you, Glenn.
It's such a dumb, obvious. Like it's one of those like just things like where you cloud.
It's one of the most frustrating things about her. Jono, you mentioned 13 years ago that you found it frustrating that she never, like, no matter her beliefs or whatever she's thinking when she has it, she tells no one, like not a single person, about like her viewing. And you're just like, what the fuck? Don't you at least slowly gather people on your side, even if your view or like your point of view of that knowledge is wrong? Like, you'd at least gather people on your team, kind of thing, which I guess is what she's doing with Alvarian here. But she's doing it incompletely. But way too late, too. It's like, you could have been doing this for years. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. I could really, that internal bias thing is like really fascinating to me right now. Again, maybe because I'm drunk. It just fascinates me that's the running theme to me of this first chapter. I do think it's the only interesting, one of the only interesting parts about the Alida section is that she like immediately is like kind of puzzling through Rand. She's like, I wonder if he can channel. Do you think he can channel? You know, like mentally. And I was like, holy shit, dude. Yeah, he can. What's the deal with that? All right, Dane Bonehold. Let's talk about Dane Bonehold. He's just sitting on the north bank of the River Terran, watching Bayer and 30 dudes talk to the villagers. I mean, it's essentially like setting up the Battle of Two Rivers later, but like it's the White Cloaks, you know, kind of gathering near the Two Rivers, and Ordieth is there, so that's a thing. This, it's really important to me, like how much chapter 1 just sets up. It's almost like a prologue. How much it sets up, you know, like the biggest things going on, like the battle of the, you know, like the split of the tower, the Battle of the Two Rivers, and then, you know, we're going to see a little bit of Surak coming in. Technically, like the Shan-Chan aren't nearly as important necessarily, but what the fuck their influence is really starts to gather some momentum. I mean,
they very much are. Just no one's taking it seriously.
Well, yeah, they don't have good jokes. So I guess
love the name Ordieth. Yeah.
It means wormwood. Who wouldn't love that? That's an STD.
You said so. God damn it! You said something so funny. I don't remember what it was. It was put my wormwood in your bone hold or something like that. I don't know.
Wait, are you doing all of our repeated jokes from memory?
No, I just listened. But I mean, even still, from my memory earlier today, yes.
I thought you wrote some stuff down or something.
No. Well, I mean, it is from memory from earlier today.
All right, Tom. You are going to be the late night host, and then Joe and I are going to have both our own little fucking sections.
Oh, that's
I'll do. So we have two guys.
I just do retread tWoTcast material from 13 years ago.
That's what this whole fucking show is, dumbass.
Yeah, I know. That's my point.
It's a retread show.
Just add the T, and that's it.
They captured a bunch of tinkers, and 3 of them are missing. And it's hinted at that Ordeath was like killing them.
You already no.
Or maybe they got away. We don't know.
I like that there's one white cloak is just like, I'm pretty sure this guy's slaughtering people. I'm like, what a headache.
Well, Bonehold is like, hey, you mentioned murdering people earlier, and there's 3 tinkers missing. And he's like, yeah, I guess they got away. Like kind of thing. You're like, pretty sure they didn't, but okay.
I don't think I think I just realized that that's a classic white cloak move. Like, I guess they got away.
Yeah. And he was like, all right, I guess they did.
Everything about
constantly letting people escape, and then like
Dane Bonehold has worked very closely with M and Balda, so I mean, I feel like he's very hip to the.
But that's the Jarrett Byer thing as well.
Yeah.
Like Jarrett Byer with Perrin. I guess they got away and raped themselves. M and Balda.
Hey, you rape yourself and cut yourself to pieces and throw yourself into a shallow grave. It's exhausting. Stop doing that. I'm the worst killer of all time.
Blessed.
Yeah.
Best move it along.
So I mean,
all right. We've got Surath.
I gotta say, still, that's the best non-rape sign I've ever seen.
I had to make it PG in some way.
I just like you put the woman on top. Just to make sure.
There's also a disclaimer at the bottom, which is most
really could be raping him.
It really sends the rape.
Yeah, that's the point.
She's raping him.
Surath surrounded by servants and a Death Watch guard.
Yeah, she's climbing the heights.
So that's the thing. Like that quote like froze in my brain. So later on, when there was a chapter, or I mean, a title of a book named "The Path of Daggers," I was like, "Oh, I know what that is." Like it's on the heights, the paths are paved with daggers. There's like something she thinks while she's thinking.
It's a terrible floor, right? I mean, that's not like
it sounds horrible.
Walkway. Yeah,
but that. I don't know. It was just a turn of phrase that like kind of froze in my head, and then like fast forward 8 books, and a book is titled that. You're like, oh, I know what that is. It's dangerous.
Maybe you should have like Shoes of Diamond.
That book title is the Samuel Hake of or
footwear.
Samuel Hake of Tinker is a derogatory term, by the way.
It's so rough. They call it
really
tinker.
That is the closest to derogatory term in the books. It's just a gypsy.
Yeah, which is derogatory.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
Tinkers, tramps, and thieves.
I mean, Surath, this whole Surath section I mean, it's fast, it's quick, but I mean, like the whole section is just her going like, it kind of plays off of Siwan and Min discussing the one Aes Sedai viewing with the collar that she was like, oh, that, like maybe it's the Shanshan. And she's like, the Shanshan are long gone.
Those fuckers are gone. Yeah.
And that, well, her point was like, also, if they're not and they come back, I'll know like almost immediately, and like I'll be able to like respond or handle it. And then you cut to Surath and she's like, yeah, we didn't go far. We're hanging on these islands and we're gonna come right back. Kind of thing. So like we're
500 miles away. With a massive army and navy.
Do you think she could have handled it?
No.
But instead the messages come to Elena and she's like, this is bullshit. It's bullshit.
I don't think that any of them are equipped to deal with it, because the actual numbers that the Forerunners have are massive. And
none of them can actually make a fire dragon
that
smashes boats.
Well, what Tom's proposing is like, if Elida didn't take over the White Tower, would Siwan have been able to respond? I think no. I think they would have. I think they would have met them in battle, not at the White Tower, and gotten a bunch of people stolen, like in book 12 or whatever. But like, it would have been them meeting them out in the field and getting captured one by one, or.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ready to fight this, like, because like the combination of both, like, Aes Sedai, of channelers and like actual good soldiers is unique. And the only people that could create, match that would be the Aiel, which are obviously not relevant right now. And
Yeah, from them.
the Aes Sedai have no idea how to fight anything in an organized manner. They're women. That's not right. They've never had to do.
Well, they
so.
could have, but they would
No.
have to be in danger first.
It goes back to what we were saying in the men section. I was just, or like when we
Yeah.
were ranting about the White Tower in general. I just don't. I'm like, they're not prepared. They don't have Green Aja stationed at the borderlands. They don't have like.
Yep. Yeah,
they just don't
agreed.
have that like infrastructure to be like, hey, let's send a. But they're just their response whenever something happens is just like throw a group of Aes Sedai at it, and whatever one is the most powerful is in charge. And you're just like, that's the stupidest
Yeah,
fucking goal or like response
As you
ever.
look back on everything they've done, you're just like,
What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, like Chuck 6. First of all, they belittle everything because they think
maybe
they're
that's-
the one
maybe
power. They think they're the power in the land. So they're like, oh, just throw 6 Aes Sedai at it. There's nothing 6 Aes Sedai can't handle, and those 6 would get captured, and they'd be like, oh fuck, well, we'll send 12 more, and then it would just be bad.
Tom.
oh, just maybe it occurred to me maybe we should buy into more, like a little more, when Egwene takes over, that I should believe in her more, just because she's like, oh, I am the tower, and the tower is this, and the tower has to survive, and I'm like, I don't feel like it needs to.
Yeah.
For all
I
those
mean, I
reasons,
agree with you. I think so. I disagree. The only reason I agree,
I'm just never
Egwene's
sold on it.
sentiment is my idealistic nature of like what the tower could be. And that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, yes, the tower should survive because it could be all of these things that we've kind of laid out. But it's just not. But yeah, like the idea of the tower surviving in the
We assume it'll
current
she'll get
status that it holds is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
no thanks.
get where you're saying that. Yeah.
So I mean, it's a weird thing because the tower obviously has existed for 3,000 plus years, right? And like it seems like the original auspice of it was almost like a house of knowledge, and a kind of a power in a good way, right? Like right after the breaking, it probably helped stabilize a lot of shit. It was very important. Civilization was rebuilding in a pretty important way. And
Yeah,
then
but
we
their
had
prominence has plummeted or plateaued over the years,
exactly.
where they
And
could be
again,
reaching out and doing other things.
You can say, well, that's the Ishmael, Dark One, whatever kind of thing. I don't know what the fucking truth is here, but it's our show, so we'll say it's that. But at the end of the day, like there is a much better bastion, maybe not better, but like all the shit that the wise ones did or the wise women did down Naboo Dar.
Sure, yeah,
crazy numbers. They did it well. They didn't.
Well,
do
you
it
could
the
argue
way
Egwene is embracing all of that though, and ushering in a new age of the tower. But I mean,
Yeah.
but still, like even with all of that, it's just like the way the White Tower currently exists does not need to live on. Like
100%.
Well, and granted, she does restructure things and change things a lot, which is great. But
Molecularly, she does die.
It's so bad that we don't give the characters that we like the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess that's what I'm saying though. I gave Egwene the benefit of the doubt. When Egwene says something like that, I don't like.
I was so angry when she's like, "The tower must survive." I'm like, "Fuck off."
Yeah, but it's the idealistic nature. It's like the ideals of what she thinks the tower could be. Like, that's what she's talking about. Like she's not talking about like, yeah.
But I never bought into it because it was. So
Yeah, I didn't buy into it because we start here. This is where we start. We'll watch
like when the Johnson attacked the tower, I was like, "Yeah, rip it down." It's a piece of shit.
That's true, but when
I don't agree with that.
Like,
I don't agree with that. I think it's
has the white rod
architecture.
and she's like blasting them back, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I wanted Egwene to survive, but everybody else could fuck off, and the institution itself could fuck off.
I mean, yeah.
So Suroth, by the way.
Well, I mean, like that's
I
she's
fucking love
basically
it. Don't
like,
get me wrong.
when I capture Rand, do I turn him over to the Empress or not? That's basically her whole section. But like
I still think that it's very interesting that she keeps what we have Alwyn, Seta, and what's the third chick? Rena.
Hold on a second. Glenn just said, "At what point did most Aes Sedai become Marith Damane in your eyes, Tom?" Apparently, right now.
Yeah.
Listen, they should just all be collared. Fuck it.
That's not what I said at all.
I know.
Technically, you said at what point should they all become dead, which is a radically more.
I think the idea of the White Tower as it is doesn't need to live on. I think the idea of what the White Tower is in Egwene's mind should live on.
I agree with that. I think that, and it's hard to know how much of that is the last?
What
say
the
200
novices
years?
and accept to believe the tower is and what it actually is, they're two different things. So what it could be, like, yeah, let's do that, but it's not that. Not even a little.
Even
bit.
the cat
I
suite
think
version.
the Queen's quote unquote little white tower in the rebel camp is akin to like what she believes it should be.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, and as we all agree with later on in the books, like the rebel camp versus the Aes Sedai, we all know that the Aes Sedai actual in the White Tower are the bad guys, like kind of thing in the grand scheme of things, kind of thing.
No. Totally disagree.
That's true of any institution to exist ever.
Hey, are we getting really philosophical here?
I mean, I guess
we've always been. This is probably one of the most philosophical podcasts ever.
I mean, down with the man. Okay, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, I love eating pussy.
All right. Well, I think that's podcast for this week.
I'm kidding. I've actually never seen a. Oh, if you have any comment or questions, the best way to find us is on. I haven't pulled up my thing yet because I was supposed to finish this show.
Do you not remember?
No, take us out of here. I'm lost.
If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. tWoTcast theme songs brought to you by the one and only Taffy Bennington and Andrew, Bard of Time, legendary singer-songwriters on YouTube. Links to all their stuff is below. Join us next episode.
Yeah, I guess what we're going to talk
the
about.
Wheel of Time, covering The Shadow Rising, chapters 2 through question mark, because I don't know. We haven't broken it back up. We're originally going to do 14.
Yeah, not 14 chapters, 14 sections.
14
but
sections.
Then we decided
maybe 16.
We wanted it. Yeah, we'll do 16 maybe.
Like 2 through 6.
It'll
probably be 2 through 6 or 2 through 4 or 2 through 5. Who knows? I don't know.
We're just gonna do chapter 2.
All right, just do chapter 2.
We're gonna be covering Shadow Rising until 2027.
You want to keep going for you, or do you want me to change it?
If we want to cover the Shadow Rising until season 4 of the show comes out, we could do it for the next 50 years.
That's true. We could do it for the next.
Never coming. It's
not season 4, season 3.
God damn, Jono, get a new chair. I can't. No,
I'm Jono. Suck brick, kid. Wait, that's not right. I'm Joe. Say goodnight, Jono.
Good night, Jono. Suck brick, Joe.
And Tom.
Study your math.
Keep the change, you filthy animals.
Among the first to start, the tWoTcast was so smart to lovingly bash our favorite books. But that was long ago, and now they've grown the show, and now they got us in their hooks. Don't throw coins to these bastards, they need bars of gold at least. Someone please keep them afloat. Now let's listen as they once again ramble through a book. Let's get the fucking quote. One of them is Tom, but he is barely on. Sometimes he calls into the show. Another one is Jono. Is he their joker? Oh no. And Joe, is he the stupid one? Welcome to the tWoTcast. We will share our love for books and all our hate in every episode. We'll entertain you, make you laugh so hard you barely can stand up. That is the tWoTcast code.